Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome and thanks for joining me in today's video. We're going to be wrapping up a series of lick lessons that we've been doing. These are, in particular, what I like to call major blues sounding licks, meaning these are sort of, they come from the major blues scale primarily. They are more tied to the chords. They give a little bit more of a sophisticated sound. All in all, something I'm a big fan of. So we've been going through these licks, and now it is time to put them together into a complete solo. So before I actually walk you through the notes, let me just kind of give you the bird's eye view of what I did. I did modify the licks slightly in this, just as I did if you saw the solo I did a couple of days ago. Some of them have to be shortened, just because you want to put it in a different place. You don't have the chord, it doesn't last that long. They're easy modifications, but let me show you what they are so you can look out for them. So I started off with good old lick number 2 because it comes out of that sort of box 2, box 1 region. I figured that was going to be the most comfortable place for most folks to get going with this. What I did almost immediately, because that lick ends on beat 1, and I thought, okay, well, I'd like to, I have a beat of rest in there, but I'd like to add a little bit more to it. And I'd like to sort of get up and out of that position. So I went to lick number 3, but instead of using the whole thing, as you can see, I just used part of it. I used the last half, basically. Okay, and then what I did is I actually used all of lick 3, but instead of starting it later in the measure, I used this as a pickup, which is very, very common. So I just moved the entire lick, started it on a different beat. It works like a champ because it makes a pickup into the root. Everything works just fine. And even though I'm playing, I'll say portions of lick 3 2 times, it doesn't get old. And in fact, I'm even going to use it again. And it always sounds a little bit different because of the fact that it's on a different beat. This is something that Albert King did better than anyone. I have a video about, I call it the Albert King lick, because he literally took the same idea, put it, cut off a part here, cut off a part there, put it on a different beat. It's amazing how much he uses the same idea over and over. From there, we move up to the 4 chord. I just took lick 1 and transposed it. No big deal. It fits very comfortably because we're already in that area of the fretboard. And you'll see when you play this, it's right there. You don't have to go anywhere. And then, of course, lick 4, also right there. All I have to do is kind of turn my finger around on the root. I took it straight out of the box. I didn't do anything to it. But then, again, I had to sort of fill in a little bit. I wanted to get my hand turned around also. So I again used that little bit of lick 3, that last little part. But I also ended it on the flatted 7 instead of the root. This is a little trick. I really love doing this. I encourage you to do it anytime. Just leave off the last note. And it's often amazing how cool that sounds just by itself. Okay, from there, we went up to the 5 chord. So I'm just going to grab lick 5, and you'll notice it's right in that same fretboard region. And while the chord is going to go down, we are going to go up to a different region for the 4 chord. Take a little bit out of lick number 2. It's not the whole thing. Obviously, it's, quite a bit is cut off at the end. And I've modified it in the sense that I've changed the timing a little bit there. There would normally, this last note, there would be a couple of notes as a pull off and all that kind of stuff. I just ended it right there. So it's not a huge modification. It's more of just, I cut it off. But there it is, and it works really, really well. And then I continued to move up, right? Because again, I like my solos to move up through the fretboard. So the next position up was lick number 5, which I did modify slightly because lick number 5 is supposed to start, back here somewhere. So it's starting later on a different beat. And then I kind of, that put me in a position where I couldn't do the major 3rd bend right there because of the D7 chord going on right now. I could do it right here, work just fine. Again, when you're dealing with a turnaround, sometimes you have to be a little particular about it. And then over the 5 chord, I just took, again, part of lick number 2. It's not the whole thing. I cut off a couple of notes right up front, and creating that little bit of space on beat 1. Again, I just got rid of the note there. It really wasn't a huge thing that I did. I just changed the beat and got rid of that first note so that I had nothing on beat 1. Again, sort of getting back to my never starting a lick on beat 1 rule, I just sometimes just cut off the note. So like I said, that kind of gives you an idea of the things to look out for. Let's just real quick, we'll kind of walk through it. There's not a whole lot I really need to talk about. Hopefully you've been keeping up, you've been playing these licks right along with me. First thing I did is lick 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and which gives me time to sort of move up to this new position where I'm just going to use the back half of lick 3. And what I mean by lick 3 was, it was the third lick we did. It was the one that's basically out of box 3. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now you could, and I almost did, end it on that flatted 7th. So if you prefer that sound, know that I kind of also prefer that sound. And I wanted to keep the licks as complete as I could stand for this. And then we're going to use, again, lick 3, the beginning. So we played the end. Then we're going to use the beginning and do it again and just put the whole thing together. So don't be afraid. I famously say, or it has been famously said, if you play something good and it sounds good, play it again. It never hurts to repeat yourself when you're playing something that sounds good, right? So we're going to keep on from there, right? We're up here. So lick 1 is good old box 1. But now we're in D. We're already at the 10th fret. We're already there. 1 and 2 and then we'll just kind of leave a little space there, and that'll give us a chance to get set up for the next lick, which is lick 4. So that's from box 4. Sorry. Now, when I get done with that, I'm going to go back into that back half of lick 3 again. Again, it's a cool idea. I really like the sound of it, so I'm going to revisit it. But notice how I did that with my first finger, and then I'm going to switch my position. Right? So I was here. That's the trick. Now I'm going to go, I need the E chord, right? There's an E chord right there. Okay, and I didn't have to do anything other than start it at a different beat. But I don't know that that really counts as doing something different. And then for lick, from there, I wanted to go to, I'll say the D. And again, this is something that I used, I'll say, in the previous solo that I did. Just kind of cutting this off. Again, leaving it on the flatted 7. I just like that sound again. And then, because I was right there, I'll just jump up a little higher. Do lick 5 again. But it doesn't sound the same as when you did it in E down here. It does if I play them right next to each other, but with chords changing and something in the middle and all that, you won't really notice. And then we're going to finish it off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again, I just cut off the beginning and put it on a different beat, but it's otherwise the same, just up here in E instead of down here. Okay? So yeah, if you've been keeping up, this would be fairly straightforward. You've played all these licks before. Now, I realize learning 5 licks in 5 days is a fairly tall order. It's one of the reasons I sort of put an intermediary solo in there, was to give you an extra day on them. And you may not be totally up to speed on all these licks yet, and I absolutely get it, but you should have them available. You can always come back and watch the videos, keep working on them. Once you get each of these licks down, this solo will actually it'll be pretty easy. You're basically just putting them in order. You don't have to remember very much. It should be pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do here is, as I exit this video, I'm going to play it all the way through for you. But once again, before I do that, tell you if you have any friends that you think would dig this video, I hope you'll share it with them, any guitar playing friends. As always, I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Again, this is, to celebrate. I do have a new course called 50 Major Slow Blues Licks by the Box. That's kind of what this whole series is all about. I'll leave a link to that course near this video. Depending on when you're seeing this video, that promotion could be wrapping up. It may be regular price now, but hopefully you're going to get this on the day that it comes out, and you can get a chance to get in at about 40% off. So anyway, I will leave you with the solo in its entirety. I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed. I'll see you soon.